am officially a part of the What's Funny Comedy Festival. I'll now be operating in quite a few, not just hosting one shows. I'm just going to be showing up to shit like, you didn't ask me to be on the panel. I'm now on the panel. Oh, you didn't ask me. Yes, I'm selling t-shirts.
I love it.
So you guys hear it here first. Whatever is going on with What's Funny Comedy Festival, I will be actively involved in, because up until this time, we didn't have people they cared, but they didn't have the capacity to give Chicago the shining light that they did. So to Knowledge and to Lil Rel, and I know that every year will be bigger, we are grateful for you on behalf of the comics. And
Appreciate
Shaun, we are grateful.
There's more to love than making love, baby. There's more to love than making love.
What's funny comedy?
Yo, you not in our lane, so quit acting like we rockin' the same. What's Funny Comedy Podcast? Are you not entertained? It's time to man up. My live people, put your hands up. From improvisations to stand up, we band up. These haters overheated. We going undefeated. Sit downs and live interviews. It's what the culture needed. A new monopoly for black comedy.
What's up, family? Welcome back to the What's Funny Today show. I'm your host, Mila Marshall, and we got to start off by showing you all love, because you all show us so much love. Thanks for liking, sharing, subscribing. If you're a comedian, make sure you tap in with us every episode. We do read the comments and we do reply. And without further ado, I have to introduce our cast. Starting off with the creator of What's Funny Today show and the What's Funny Comedy Festival with Lil Rel. My boss, you know him, you love him, Knowledge Beckham.
Mila, what's happening? Appreciate you.
Yeah.
We in full festival mode, so let's go.
We are. We'll talk about that a little bit later too. And our resident comedian, he is untouchable on the mic, one of my favorites from Chicago, comedian Shaun Morgan.
I love him every week. Every week. I love him more.
Oh, and she is a force to be reckoned with. Not only is she an amazing comic, she's a mother, and I've heard an amazing cook. She's always fly when she's on stage. She is a girl's girl. She does not hold her tongue. Comedian Cory Bell.
Well, that is
Me and Cory Bell.
Who gave you those? I like that. She didn't have to say HBO, Showtime. She said she cooking and she don't hold her tongue. I like it.
You know what?
I like it.
I appreciate everything you bring to the stage. First of all, you are glowing. You're gorgeous. You working on your summer tan, I see.
Listen, I didn't mean to, but I went to Vegas and I went from the airport to the hotel.
And this is what happened.
So 4 shades blacker. I don't even know how this happened.
All right.
But it's working.
And I know your family is happy to have you home. You've been on tour, right?
Yes, yeah. They may be happy to have me home. Those boys are not.
What you mean?
The boys are not. Y'all know I have 5 kids, 5 of them.
Okay.
And the children are 28, 26, 21, 21, and 18. No, they're not twins now. Y'all in my personal business. Mind your business.
Irish twins, ain't that what they call Irish twins?
Exactly. But they are, when I'm home, now everybody got to work. Everybody got to work. And especially teenage boys. Y'all really because they eat the most. And grocery high. So those boys have to, I'm raising young men. So they are
all
not.
All boys?
No. The girls are 28 and 26.
Okay.
But those boys, that they're at that age where they don't really want to do anything unless you make them. So 7 a.m., come on, let's go. Mop the ceiling.
Not mop the ceiling.
Yeah, paint the toilet. I don't care what you do, but get up and do something, because they just as much as they asking me for stuff, I'm asking them for stuff. So you got to kind of, teach them that. But,
That's fair.
Yeah, home is dope.
Well, we're so happy to have you here. We're going to chop it up a little bit about your comedy career, get your take on some things about urban comedy, especially with women. I know Knowledge was really interested in that. Mm-hmm. And then, we'll get Shaun to fuss about something.
Absolutely. Listen, if Shaun don't fuss, we die.
I retract my previous statement.
Then we are not airing this podcast if Shaun don't fuss. I'm going to tell you that right now.
I want to kick it off with, I follow many of the women in comedy here in Chicago. And Lisa Lair, shout out Lisa, had posted something. She was like, Mo Good said that women comedians in Chicago are running circles around the men comedians. And I saw you co-sign. Talk a little bit about why you feel that's true.
I think that what happens is we are now being afforded the space. Mm-hmm. Men dominate comedy. Men really dominate entertainment, but when it comes to comedy, especially Black comedy, men dominate that field. There are more of them in numbers. And it's just a male-dominated field. I never knew that comedy was gender-specific until I realized how men were bringing women to the stage who want to hear from a lady's point of view. You've never been to a comedy show and say, hey, who want to hear a man's point of view? You've never heard it. Where the ladies at? Ladies' night. It's a ladies' night. 4 ladies on the flyer. Now it's ladies' night. But you've never seen a men's night flyer. The crazy thing is the majority of audiences are dominated by women.
Yeah.
We are the biggest ticket purchasers when it comes to comedy. So now being able to be afforded that space where it's okay to have more than one woman on a flyer. Because normally we're just fighting for that one spot. If we can get it. Because even still now, we still have plenty of comedy shows where there are no women. But we have started taking that moment and taking our stuff back. Like, see me, I'm here, I'm funny, and it's nothing that you can do about it. I think a lot of times, and this is not all male comics, but a lot of male comics got comfortable in that space. And we're still fighting. They started coasting and we started fighting. And so now we are producing more shows. We are, more of us are in the comedy festivals. We're working on ourselves because that's another thing. We gotta show up. And I think that now we're in a place where we're showing up, and I'm excited about it.
Okay, Knowledge.
Real quick,
yeah.
so have women gotten funnier in your opinion? And I know it's going to be where they have not. So they've always been, because I feel, and I took kind of a break, right? So I have this period of 2006 to kind of 12. And, there was Vanessa Fraction. Shout out to, folks like Vanessa, and you've always had like the Diane Quarters, et cetera. But when I re-entered the space last year, it's like, damn, they're really, really funny. Like you don't have to just give them a chance. Like I'm going to put a woman on the show just to. Like they're actually the funnier folks with fresh takes and so on and so forth. And so I do feel like women comics or comedians have gotten funnier.
For me, I think, let me back up and say this. Comedy is a gift.
Okay.
Being funny is a gift, just like singing, just like dancing. You cannot teach funny. You can teach mechanics, you can teach callbacks, you can teach timing, you can write, but the actual art of funny, you have to be born with that. Now, you have some people that are funny, and you have some that are gifted. And because of the numbers, with it being 3 times as many men as it is women, they'll always dominate that. I think what's also happening is you have to, as a female, you have to be fearless before you can be funny. Because a lot of times when I come on stage, most of the people in the audience already assume that they know what I'm going to talk about. They think I'm going to talk about gaining weight, losing weight, going to exercise, my kids, my vagina, and dating. That's normally what they expect from us.
Right.
Mind you, most men talk about the exact same thing, except they don't talk about their vaginas. They talk about
somebody
ours.
else's. Yeah.
And I know that before I can go out and give them anything from me, I have to get their attention. I've already lost it because they think they know, who I am. And so when I go out there and I open up with a joke that's 15 minutes long about taking a nap over 40, they're like, okay, well, maybe she has something to say. And that's another thing. I think we've also discovered, those of us that are funny, we've discovered that there's more to talk about than our vaginas. And that's where the funny comes in. Like, that's where we're not getting funny. We're just learning exactly who we are. And it's still a small group of us. Like, it still ain't a whole lot of female comedians. And those that are that have the gift is an even smaller number. So I just think that we are being a lot more fearless. So you see those of us that are funny that you had no idea about.
Do you look for those spaces that are not necessarily the traditional spaces that women played in terms of like topics and things to talk about? Do you actually look for that? Like, you know what? Women don't talk about this. I have some funny stuff in that space. And so I'm going to bring that to the stage to kind of make me unique in terms of what I talk about on stage.
Not intentionally.
Okay.
Not intentionally. When I go on stage, I talk about what I know. And that's why I can make it funny. I talk about being a wife. I talk about being a mother. I talk about being over 40 and what's happening in my life right now. I talk about, if I see younger people in the audience, what it was like when I was their age. Some of that general or the stock subjects will come up, but then I make it personal to me. And again, that's why it's funny. I talk about my personal experiences. I had to learn real quick that if you don't get away from the general subjects, you'll be right in the middle of the mess of so-and-so took my joke or you took my joke or so-and-so. And it's like, I had an issue and I talked to my sister about it and she said, well, if they can tell your joke, then it wasn't yours. It has to be more personal to you. They can't tell your story. But if you go in there, women be shopping, and they come right behind you, like, women in the shopping center. And it's like, hey, that's mine.
Right.
And it's like, y'all know I got kicked out of the mall for da-da-da-da-da. More I mean my and less general is what kind of made that's kind of how I approach it. I don't intentionally go into those spaces. I look into the audience and see who's out there first. And then whatever comes. I don't have a written set.
Got you. Shaun, what you think, bro? Are women, in your opinion, have women become funnier over the years? Or is it to Cory's point that just...
I would say that women have... I've always been fans of certain type of women comedians. Like, I still, to this day, as much as I love... Chicago, of course, produced all the best female comedians, with the exception of some more, in my opinion. But I've always been like Pat Brown, shining example. Like, she's always been different. You know what I mean? So I think that women comedians are finding their stride because that was a popular consensus amongst male comedians. Like, yeah, they gonna get up here and dick and pussy everybody to death. And, men talk about sex, but we don't really get into what we do. Do that make sense? Like, we don't be up there like, I ate pussy 17 straight hours. But we'll hear how the dick was sucked with the two hands. And I think that was always the difference. It wasn't the subject matter per se. And just like, even piggyback on what you said a second ago, like when the whole like Shaun-ing movement was going on, when I was talking about when I was talking about the Shaun-ing shit, like how niggas really was in certain types of bags, it's not the subject matter that people get bothered by if you take it. It's the thought process behind the subject matter, right? So if I'm a dude, I wasn't the first guy to say anything about a big girl, but I was the first one to say that this bitch baked me some cereal in an oven. Do you understand what I'm saying? So now if you talk about anything in this oven, whether you change the food or not, you in my bag. You can talk about fat women all you want, but leave this from scratch shit to me. I did that, right?
Yeah.
So now I think that women comedians are finding a lane that make it comfortable. It's just like why I respect Flame Monroe. Flame Monroe found a way to make comedy comfortable while ignoring titties and a penis. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it used to be that was too much and it would be the distraction, but Flame somehow figured out how to make me not think about that and laugh at what the fuck Flame is talking about, which is what, and I'm not comparing Flame to women comedians, but I'm saying that's an art. It's a skill set to make me not think about what you're talking about.
I agree with that because one of the things that people always point out, normally, if you know me, when I show up on stage, I'm coming to every show like it's the Oscars. Every show is the Taj Mahal. Every show is Madison Square Garden. Because it's just how I was raised. And very early on, I had a really famous comic tell me, if you dress like that, they're not gonna hear shit you saying. And at that very moment, I made it a point to prove him wrong every time I stepped on stage. If you acknowledge it in the beginning, people will move past it. Because the truth of the matter is, if you funny, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. Funny is funny. Monique and I did Las Vegas on 4th of July, and we told jokes in swimsuits. Nobody cared after the first 60 seconds.
Right.
Nobody cared. Everything else was funny. If you acknowledge it in the beginning, it doesn't matter. But people will try to tell you, hey, if you dress like that, if you look like that, and they only do it to women. It's always all that makeup, with your hair, and it's like, if you're funny. I
have to say that's not true.
They say it to y'all. Oh well, yeah. Because sometimes they do give you guys you need to put on a suit or you need to dress. I do hear that sometimes.
When I first started doing comedy, Bernie being my mentor, Damon being my other mentor, right? So I thought suits, right? So if you look at any of my early footage, I got on suits or sweaters and dockers and shoes, and so Katt.
You aged yourself by 20 years hanging with these niggas.
Katt Williams, I'll never forget it. Katt Williams, we was doing, back then it was Hollywood Park Casino, right? So everybody had different days and different times. This is pre-Friday Katt Williams, right? And so I was up there, and, Katt used to kick it with like, real niggas, you know what I'm saying? Like in LA. And so one day I did a set and he said, hey man, you know why that probably didn't go as good as you thought it should have? And I was like, I'm working out the bit. He's like, nigga, you don't look like none of the shit you talking about. Like you up here talking about bitches and gangbanging with some fucking dockers and square toes on. And if you notice, that's why on Comic View, and for years after, I would wear t-shirts and I would wear hats and just plain clothes until I turned into my 30s. So that what I was wearing wasn't a distraction. Because believe it or not, being an unconventional looking comedian, it's a little bit harder than people think it is.
Yep, and I welcomed it. I didn't even care. Because again, I had to be fearless.
Yeah, I want to jump in here. Speaking of being fearless, great conversation. This might happen, what we share, and then we have to move on. But Shaun, you said something. Chicago, in your opinion, creates the funniest female comics, with the exception of Samora. And I want to keep that in mind. So as I ask you, Cory, what do you think is unique about this city that breeds that type of lady comic from Chicago?
Not just female comics, not just women. Chicago breeds the best comics, period. And the reason that we breed monsters is because we had to come up doing comedy in places that did not want comedy. We didn't have, aside from Jokes and Notes and the other clubs were before my time, but for the most part, as I can remember it, we didn't have a whole lot of space for Black comedy, And before me, I don't think we were really going north of 22nd Street. We weren't going up there to those clubs, as far as I know. But we do we do comedy in bars with TVs on, with the game on.
Shout out Francis Cocktail.
Shout out Island Bars. Shout out Francis. Shout out Bartend. We do comedy in places that wants to do everything but stop, be quiet, and listen. You got a birthday party going on. You got some niggas that done came to the bar that's trying to buy drinks for the chicks. You got some people who ain't got cable, so now they is at the bar because this is March the game. Yep. And you have to go through all of this and say, hey, everybody freeze. I got something funny to say. You got to be fit. You get your tiger stripes when you're in Chicago, and then people go to LA and be successful. We hit a ceiling here, but the reason that we are monsters, if you can make Chicago laugh, you can go anywhere in the country.
I was just thinking about it. Like, it's a tough crowd. Like, you got angry, you got can't pay our bills, you got,
and they getting in free. They get in free, and you would sweat on cheese and crackers on a Tuesday night that we made them pay like the Airy Crown. And think about somebody like me. I'm a Tuesday night. They already got their favorites. Oh, Sean Morgan done walked in. Dan Fool done walked in. Baldhead is there. Marlon Mitchell. Big Keith hosting. And here I come. The only female I'm new. They don't want to hear from me.
Is this a real story? Did this really happen? Was this
over week after week. It didn't matter where I went. When them first 5 years, them first 4, it didn't matter. I now have to make them stop pay attention to me, and then tell them who I am, and then get them to laugh. And that's why I can go anywhere in the country, and there's not a city in the United States that I would be like, man, I ain't going down there. Like, it might be too hard. There's nowhere, because Chicago made me.
So
What year did you start, Cory? I'm sorry.
This is year number 11 for me. So 2014.
So outside looking in, you seem to have a pretty quick, I know 11 is not a short period of time, but that's a quick meteoric kind of rise. And so when I look at things, because again, this was kind of during my break, it's like I come back and it's like Cory Bell is here. You know, I know a lot of the super OGs has been here doing their thing, and like Cory Bell's like that. Have you sat back, because I like to do this, right? If it comes to business, what have you, why is it not that, right? If the festival 5 years in is here, I'm just going to ask myself, why is it not here? And that's just my analytical mind. Did I not make a move here, partnership here? Besides the funny, because there's a lot of funny people, have you sat back and have you figured out how you've gotten to that meteoric rise, like stuff about you, how you approach relationship building, whatever it might be? I'd love to hear your thoughts about that if you've given it some thought.
I have. My career has moved so fast that for the most part, to just be transparent, I haven't really had a chance to catch my breath. I'm going to be very honest. I never wanted to do comedy. I was Debbie Allen, okay? I was a dancer. That's who I wanted to be. But then I found out Debbie Allen was Debbie Allen, and so I couldn't be her. And so then I was going to be Dominique Dawes, okay? And I was on the balance beam, and I did the vault, and I did the floor, but I've also broken about 16 bones while doing so. So I don't think Dominique Dawes was my thing either. And I started comedy on a dare. So this was never my plan. But once I tapped into it, I was like, okay, something is happening. And what I believe is, if you tap into your gift and you're consistent and you do it with a pure heart and clean hands, no matter what you do, you'll be successful, right? Within the first 16 months of me starting comedy, I had already been flown to LA to film the very first season of Laugh Mob's Laugh Tracks with Bob Sumner.
Shout out to Bob.
Shout out to Bob. It was the very first time that I ever decided, you know what, I think that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And I'm going to tell you a quick story as to why. I gave up my audition spot at DuSable because I was going to Jamaica. Someone was flying me, and my husband, he's a DJ. I was an MC. We were going to Jamaica. Just so happens that the trip ended up getting canceled the week before. I just showed up at the audition, and someone else did not show up. And that's how I ended up landing that spot. When I got flown out to LA, I had no idea what craft services was. I did not know. I was out in LA with probably the only $80, $100 that I had. So when we got out to take a break and I saw this table with all this shit on it, I started putting shit in my bag. Because I'm like, nigga, I might not be able to. We in LA, I don't know how much this food costs.
Right. Yeah.
Give me these cookies, these Rice Krispie trees.
Come on, craft service.
Yeah, listen. And I was standing there and I was like, dang, they got apples or bananas. I really wish they would have had a peach. Like, I'm in LA, I want a peach. There was a guy standing behind me and he said, talent wants peaches. And a nigga just took off down the street to the Whole Foods. My right hand of God. It was at that very moment that I was like, man, I really wish I had $500.
That's funny to say.
But as I was putting the stuff in my bag, there was a beautiful comedian in LA by the name of John Cia. And John Cia came up behind me and she didn't know me. And she was like, you know, when you put all that stuff in your bag, they just gonna put more out so you don't have to hoard it. And then John Cia showed me around the set. And she would put me in places to say, hey, the camera gonna be right here. You wanna get all of the camera time that you can. You come here, stand right here. She would put me in front of her. She'd put me over here because she had been out there for a while. I had no idea. And then when it finally aired and I was able to see myself, I was like,
You realized what she had done.
yeah. But it was also like, man, my gift is being on display to so many people. And this is what I love because laughter is free. Right after that, things just started going so fast, I couldn't really keep up. So I only know that the reason that I am where I am right now is because I have people that are rooting for me, people that believe in what I'm doing, that are higher than me, that said, hey, I can see this in you. Come over here. You know what I'm saying? I don't really take any of the credit aside from being consistent and making sure that I'm operating in my gift. The other thing, because niggas used to be like, I did it all on my own. I did it all by myself. And it's like the truth of the matter is somebody else had to see you. Somebody else had to say your name in a room. You didn't just walk in and they were like, that's the guy. That like you didn't. There's a community of people working, whether you know it or not, saying your name in rooms, and they're doing it on both sides.
So Cory, with that, are women really competitive within the comedy space, or is the sisterhood real and legit?
I'm gonna be very honest. The women that I know, and I know quite a few women in comedy, there is no competition because there aren't that many of us to compete. Like we're competing for the one spot on the show or the two spots on the show, but for the most part, it's us. It's a bunch of John Cias. Like we are like, hey,
peer mentors,
do this or do that, or maybe this is more for you. We are more so cheering each other on because we in the middle of the circle of the sharks. Like, just hold on, come over here just a little
like
bit.
sharks and minnows.
Yeah, like we just come over here a little bit. So I don't see. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist.
Right.
What I'm saying is I don't see it, and almost all of the sisters that I interact with or that I see, I'm cheering them on, they're cheering me on, whether it's genuine or not, who cares? In front of everybody else, we're showing the unity. We be concerned about these men, child.
So
the male comics are emotional like Carl Thomas,
This
baby.
is very
Okay?
true. I have never seen women comics here in Chicago get into any sort of beef spat, nothing. It's really been the guys. It's pretty interesting.
And I'm going to tell you why. Because men are competitive by nature. That's just who they are. They are competitive by nature. So it's always going to be that nigga ain't going to be able to follow me. I'm finna make it hard for. Like, this is what I see when I go to these comments. Hey, man, I'm not going after so-and-so. When truth of the matter is, if you're operating in your gift, I don't give a damn where you put me. If you want me to open it up, your job as the producer is to make sure that you know how you want your show to flow. So if you got somebody weak coming behind me, that has absolutely nothing to do with me. When I get my time on stage, I'm going to Anita Baker that bitch. I'm giving you the best that I got. I don't give a fuck about who goes in front of me. I don't care about who's behind me. I'm cheering for them and the people behind me because it's only one stage, one mic, and one name on that check. I can't be mad at the person that go in front of me that send it to the moon. Guess what? If they send it to the moon before I go up, bitch, I'm riding a wave.
Taking it to Mars.
If they stink before I go up, then I'll clean it up. But my space is my space. I can't be concerned about the rest of the show. But women, we clapping for each other for the most part. The men, we be wanting to hug them. We do. We want to hug y'all.
This is true. I want to talk a little bit about the Katt Williams tour.
Nice.
So one, I'm nosy. I want to know all of the details.
Hey, you know what? Before you go there, I'm seeing a few.
Yeah, you see the look on Shaun. This
few
the part
facial
where we
reactions
go.
from Shaun.
This it right here.
So I'd love
Time for Shaun to fuss.
I'd love to hear because again, somebody who's been involved in comedy for a while.
I did a Shaun-ing video, just so y'all know. I did do a Shaun-ing video with my tank top on, and I was young. I had no idea. I was just jumping on shit. And I don't apologize for it either.
What is a Shaun? What is a Shaun-ing?
You'll see.
That's something you have to talk about.
Yeah, we'll see. You don't have enough time.
Women just seem to be making. Well, I'm just saying, really, women seem to be making big noise in Chicago.
Yeah.
I do feel like, just conceptually, I feel like there's reasons behind that, but I'd love to hear and again, not men against women, what have you. It's just, we're men, there's women. I'm just curious about, kind of just even what she just spoke to in terms of women kind of cheering for women. Like that's what they do. They brunch, they just do things that we don't do.
We definitely
and that shit is, I think, helpful, you know what I'm saying, in terms of celebrating we don't do it as much. Sometimes we kind of out on an island, kind of doing our own things, being maybe competitive when it doesn't necessarily serve us. So I'm just curious to hear your perspective on some of the things Cory just shared.
Well, I mean, the first part, camaraderie amongst comedians and competitiveness, that's accurate. I just think it's a sad time, like what she just said. Time for Shaun to fuss. Like, why can't niggas just talk?
Because
Like,
you
why
don't
does it have to be
talk,
fussing?
because you be fussing, Sean.
I don't fuss about. Listen, it be so much shit going on that I just stay in my lane and don't say shit about. But the competitiveness is cool. But I think that the problem I have with it is like that it's all kumbaya over here and it's not kumbaya over there. And I'm a nigga that's staying to it with comedians, so I'm definitely the poster boy.
Yes, he
I'm the
does.
poster boy of. But it's always. This is the thing about. This about. Okay, since we're gonna go there, I'll go on this level, right? 95% of the interactions that I have, bad with comedians are typically some Three's Company shit. You just walked in the wrong moment and you thought it was this, but really it was that, and this is how this episode is. That was the premise for Three's Company. Every fucking episode, it was a misunderstanding. It's comedians out here that owe niggas money. It's niggas out here to steal niggas' jokes. It's niggas out here to really do shit that's detrimental to other comedians' careers. But yet somehow people find a way to put me in this conversation, and I've done nothing to anyone. There's nothing anyone can say that I've ever did that wasn't beneficial to another comedian's career. And that's from putting them on TV shows to different shit like that. I've never done anything. I don't owe a nigga $1. If I say it's $100, that's because I got $100 that I got in my pocket that I'm prepared to pay you whether a nigga is there or they're not. So most things that happen is miscommunication of crazy shit. Cory Bell example, right? Katt Williams tour.
We are not about to talk about this. Don't do it, Sean.
It was guilty by association.
Okay.
Right? I showed up to a place with a motherfucker that had different intentions on what I had. It wasn't nothing I had planned. But because I was there with this particular individual, it made it seem like we're in cahoots. But anybody that knows me know I go 99% of the time everywhere alone.
Yeah.
I'm never with people. And that very reason is why I'm never with people. And that's why you won't see me with people again in the very near future.
Here's the thing, Sean, since, we want to, we talking about Sean. There's a reason that Shaun-ing happened. That was not a misunderstanding. It wasn't a miscommunication. Sean is the victim of circumstance. Always, right? Shaun-ing came because Sean is one of those people where this is Sean. We at the comedy show. Comic on stage. Comic does 5 jokes. The comic comes off stage. Comic comes over to the side. And then you'll see Sean go, real talk. No bullshit. I did that very joke on Def Comedy Jam. I have the tapes to prove it. I did that joke on Def Comedy Jam. I still have the joke book at home right now. Bernie Mac read it first and said, that's the joke that you ought to do. And I'm not telling you not to do it, but I don't want everybody else in Chicago who already knows that is my joke to do the joke. I'm just pulling you to the side as a big
ain't
brother.
That what you do if you fuck with somebody?
Ain't that what you do?
Ain't that what you do if you fuck with somebody?
That is the benefit.
So
That's
look,
the
and
benefit.
listen, and see,
But
this
if
is the
you've
cap.
done it 46 times
But
in
listen,
3 weeks.
Okay, but
it's like,
listen.
Sean, you didn't tell all the jokes.
Okay, so listen.
Some of the jokes some people, here's the problem that I have with people who don't understand, and I'm not talking about Sean, I'm just talking about in general when it comes to stealing jokes. One of the things is a lot of people don't understand the difference between a joke and a premise. And you can't steal a premise, right?
I just said that earlier this conversation.
No, I'm saying that's just in general. The other thing is, as a comedian, I'm from Chicago, right? I'm consistently writing. I'm doing this. If I get an inbox because a joke of mine went up and a nigga from Utah is like, you stole Johnny May's joke from Utah. I don't know that nigga.
Right, but y'all are in Chicago with me.
Right.
So it's great minds think alike if you wasn't here with me. That means every joke that I tested, that I got the receipts for, were done here before they even made it to TV. So to say that I'm capping, that I'm doing jokes around the same motherfuckers that is seeing it all the time, and the Shaun-ing shit was strong here because I live here. Period. And the reason that Shaun-ing happened, and the reason Michi mocked me, since we speaking on the subject of how Shaun-ing even started, was Michi and a couple other comedians who would remain nameless all went up on the show and did shit very similar to my shit before I went up. So I went on stage and I said, you know what? I'm going to do this shit how I wrote it, because I had at a point got tired of jumping through my own fucking material. Like, why do I have to adjust my set because everybody is doing something from it? Why the fuck do I have to do that? So I went on stage and I did the bigger joke that surrounded the little snippets that they was stealing, right? So they got, so I go home and I was like, God damn, because now I'm mad because you obviously stealing shit at this point, right? So, and then at the end of the show, Michi comes up to me. He like, well, you know, you could have handled that more professionally. I don't have to do anything. It's my shit. I can handle it how the fuck I feel like handling it. At the end of the day, that's just what it is. Now, it's a difference. Like you said, it's a difference between a premise and a thought process behind it. Pussy looking like Italian beef. Pussy's been here since before Shaun was a comedian. I didn't come up with a pussy. But you didn't hear that shit before. You never heard a beefy vagina joke prior to Shaun fucking Morgan. And I challenge you to go find it. That's the problem I've always had. Don't make it seem like I'm fucking crazy. This shit didn't happen before me because you can't find the footage of it. You can't find it. But then when I say something, you can't say you thought of Earth. No, I didn't. But I said that this part of Earth is whatever. It's just like with Michael Jackson. Everybody made fun of him because of his skin color, his nose. No one said he was a nigga. Nobody brought to attention that he was from Gary, Indiana. Nobody said this is a real nigga here. Everybody made fun of this nigga. I'm the first person to say, hey, you know Michael Jackson was the first nigga to publicly deny a fucking baby? Niggas was still taking care of children in the goddamn 80s. He was like, hey, Billie Jean, that ain't my motherfucking baby. Nobody said this shit before me, but now you got 100 niggas doing Michael Jackson jokes, one of which went super viral on Chocolate Sundays, even using the same songs. Now, if I say something, Shaun Morgan's the fucking asshole.
I don't think it's you saying something that Shaun Morgan's the asshole. I think, again, the reason, and let me go on record to say this, and I will say this publicly, and I have because I've said it for years. Shaun Morgan has one of the coldest pens that I've ever seen on a comedian, period. When you did the Michael Jackson joke about Mama Say, let me not say it because the nigga might do it tomorrow. you know the joke I'm talking. You know the Nobody else would have thought of that. But some of the things that you're saying, while true, just because, again, you're the first person that heard yourself say it, doesn't mean that it's the first time that it's been said. Now, when we're talking about Chicago, that's different. Because these are niggas that were around you. These are niggas that's been around you since before I came around.
There are people who got jokes that are similar like Bo last name, what's his name? Bo last name Dacious. Bodacious.
Oh, yeah.
Me and that nigga got 100 jokes that's the same. But we sat down and we talked to each other and it made sense. We had similar backgrounds. We stopped drinking around the same time. And we never did shows together. So it was never a beef between us. It was never a topic of conversation other than, hey, nigga, that's funny as hell because I got something like that. And he was like, yeah, you know, I got something like this. And it was only
Because
because
y'all
we
had
had
shared
seen each other.
experience.
my
Now, there was
question.
no problem with us because there was no connection.
But now here's my question, Sean. Was it that was funny as hell? Because I got something like that, or was it? I did that joke.
No, it
back
was.
on
It was
Comic View
listen,
in 19
listen.
Because this is the-
There was
this
no
is-
plug.
That's the thing.
There was no plug, and so Comic View at that particular time, especially 2005. Anybody that remember 2005 was a crazy year for Sean. That was the year I hosted 106 in Park when Free and them quit. That was like a big year for me. Like I was literally on TV a lot in that time frame. So to say a joke with on Comic View at that time is different because that was a national platform that niggas was watching.
And that was all that they were watching.
But Bodacious, there's no Def Jam, there's no Comic View, so there's nothing that I can affiliate with other people. So I see people that I've never met before that do certain jokes, and I don't say shit because you're not from my town, but you're not gonna cap and say that we from here and you've watched me grow for 20 motherfucking years. I'm a nigga that didn't leave. D-Ray left, all them other niggas was smart. And they left. I just sat my ass here and let everybody write off me. If we gonna keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? And so to say that ain't what happened, but you see the growth of the comedy between the time I was here, when I'm gone, and when I come the fuck back, the subject matter changing dramatically every single time. I was just in Texas. I was watching niggas sets when I was in Texas. When I came back from Texas, now guess what niggas is talking about? The shit that I'm talking about when I came back from fucking Texas.
So this
but
is
if I say something, oh man, here you go with this shit. Nigga, I've been watching y'all. I've been watching.
This is gonna be
talk about this shit.
This is gonna be a through line through season 2. Right? Season 1, we were talking about this. Season 2, we will probably put a pin in it. How many jokes have actually began with the genesis of Sean? So we will.
But I don't want to discount it because in every industry, there are people, like who
Motherfuckers
changed
stole
the game,
Microsoft. Bill Gates stole Microsoft. So that's what people do. And I never
OJ
say it's
did
a bad thing. I even justify niggas that steal. This is a zombie apocalypse in comedy right now.
Yep.
It's a zombie apocalypse. So if you can't create, this is the easiest time to steal nigga shit right now. Because there's nothing, no one can have the receipts anymore.
Because
I still
everything
got
is-
cassette tapes with my shit on it. Do you understand? And the blessed part about it is that I did so much shit so young in my career that I do have the receipts. So if a nigga do ask certain questions, I can't say that. Like it's a comedian mad at me right now for a joke that I said on Comic View in 2005. It made the greatest hits of 2005 when I said if a zombie apocalypse happened, I'd fuck a zombie and name the baby Little Half Dead. Nigga, nobody was talking about fucking dead people. But now you're talking about it, and guess who's the asshole? Because I said, hey, nigga, I did that on Comic View. Yeah. So, yeah, you seen it 20 years ago, and you thought of it when you seen whatever dog fucking Walking Dead, and it popped in your head, and now you understand why I don't watch other fucking comedians. I don't say that it's with malice,
Right.
but if you see some shit and you think it's funny, 10 years from now, if it pop back in your head and you're a comedian, you're going to think you funny. This is your shit. I'm not saying it in a bad way. That's why I don't do it. That's why if you look at Prince and if you look at the time, them niggas sound alike. Prince just was bigger. But Morris Day and the time and Prince had a very similar style.
Right.
But Prince said it. He was like, nigga, I don't listen to other people's music because I don't want it to influence my music. And I'm the same way. I don't watch other comedians.
So
Not like that. I do, but I don't.
That's my question. That's where I'm stuck at. Do we watch all the comedians or do we not watch any of the comedians? Because if I say I don't watch other comic sets, now I'm not doing my homework.
Right.
Now I'm not, I'm not studying to show myself approved. Now I don't know, the signature jokes. That and not watching comics is the reason that you'll see a bunch of women pulling stuff out of their bra. Because they think that's
so, Yvette Wilson in 1990.
But that's what I'm
that's what
saying.
she's saying,
yeah.
If you have a comic that's 3 years in the game and she is a 40 double J and now she figures that, man, this is what I do for real, but she hasn't watched comics, now we'll crucify her.
Correct.
But if she's young enough, we'll understand she never seen Yvette Wilson.
But
if she's 47
we
years
don't know
old
that.
as a comedian
It doesn't
and do it,
matter.
I'm going to be like, come on, bitch.
Probability's
You
high. Probability's high. But yeah, she's right. Like,
But here's the thing. How can you prove that?
You can't
If
do-
I
yeah.
think
You
if this is-
can't. It's probability, though.
Yeah, but so to crucify me, because you feel that what I'm doing is malicious, when the truth of the matter is I'm thinking that this, because it's something that I do, you know what I'm saying? And this is the first time that I've ever seen it, is when I thought that I made it up. To crucify me is not cool.
I'm not saying necessarily crucified, but I'm saying that it's certain shit, right? It's certain shit. Like, I seen a comedian, and I ain't gonna even say his name, say, I love pussy. I'd be glad when they put it in a can. And my mouth instantly dropped open. And the joke murder. He was like, niggas would be shoplifting the shit.
Right.
And I was like,
yeah, Bernie.
this is a signature bit,
Yeah,
bro.
it's a signature bit.
Do you know what I'm saying? This is some shit that everybody should know. And the fact that motherfuckers that's younger because they wasn't old enough to see Def Jam. This nigga old enough to see Def Jam, but the crowd wasn't. So I understand the correlation in. Just like if I see somebody, they've been a comedian like Pretty Skinny. She been a comedian 2 years. Now, if she pulls something out of her titties, she wasn't even born when that joke
doesn't
happened.
matter.
But I can't crucify her. I can't crucify her because it don't make sense.
What y'all saying to me is, if I'm a comic, my job, if I want to be a great, if I want to be amongst the greats, my job is to, number one, study to show myself approved. Yeah. I need to know about the people that came before me, so that I'm not walking in doing a Sean Morgan joke, doing an Adele Givens joke, doing a Monique joke, because the worst thing in the world is sitting there trying to write some shit, and after 6 months you finally get it, and you stand in front of people that you admire, like a Sean or a Ballhead, or the big dog, Damon Williams, and you to make this crowd go up, and you go to that green room, and these niggas are sitting there going, so you just gonna do a nigga joke in your face? Right. It's not okay. We crucified Just Hilarious.
Yeah, who is Damon Williams? Yeah.
We crucified Just Hilarious.
Well, we crucified her because she threw Damon Williams' name in something that had absolutely nothing to do with him.
Agreed.
You mad at how the club treated you. Why shit on this nigga career and who he is because this club didn't do you right?
I agree.
So yeah, she deserves to be crucified.
While I agree, and here's the reason that's neither here nor there. You're absolutely correct. But what I'm saying is, people were making the statement that Jess is not even old enough. Jess didn't come in the way that we did.
Right.
Jess
is still relevant. He was just on Time Joiner last year.
Doesn't matter. What I'm saying
it would be different if Damon was irrelevant.
Agreed, but the point that I'm making is,
you know, Shucky Ducky.
Now here we go. Now why wouldn't she?
Quack quack.
Right.
Was it not? Was it exactly?
You don't know hamburger.
Hamburger.
So and why not? Because they are all prominent figures too. When I was growing up and when I watched,
but they're not. Damon is still very relevant right now.
But this is not about Damon. What I'm saying is, study to show yourself approved. People wanted to give Jess a pass because of her age and the way that she came into the game. But if you're going to be one of the greats, are you supposed to study to show yourself approved? Or are you supposed to just stay tunnel vision, do your writing, do what you're supposed to do, stay on stage, don't pay attention to nobody else? That way you don't sound like anybody else. Because if I go out there and do a joke and I say, I don't even come outside, I don't go to open mics here in Chicago, I'm not watching TV, I'm being a mother when I'm at home, I don't even know, y'all can't say I stole this joke, I'm not even around. Nobody would believe that.
Right.
Niggas would be like, you gotta know that Adele Givens. What if I've never seen that joke? Right. That's what I'm saying. All I'm saying is,
Adele Givens lives in Kentucky. You live here, so it's probable that you don't know it. We're all
Adele
here.
Givens is one of the queens of comedy.
I know, but she hasn't lived in Chicago in 20 years.
Chicago. She's touring. She come to Chicago.
Yeah, I know. She'll be here next week.
She got stuff all over on internet, stuff that she didn't even put up. We put up clips of her. Also for me to, so I can't get that excuse.
It's a difference between people. We go to niche spot on Tuesdays together. We go to this spot on Wednesdays together. We go to this spot on Thursdays together. So to say that 4 or 5 months from now, doing that it should be acceptable, but you're here. Why you not doing this nigga from New York shit? If this is your pen, now that seems more plausible. You know what I'm saying? But you're asking for plausibility around people that you're around consistently. And to me, that's just it's not a realistic thing.
And I'll be honest, as an audience member, we wouldn't know. Right? We don't know until there is some sort of public
on-
conversation about, or unless you really are a lover of comedy and you know, like, okay, like
But-
that's the,
because
like,
it's-
that's the,
It's
yeah.
just like
Let's move it along real quick as we wrap up, because I know we can talk about the.
I was gonna say, because we can go. I don't think I even answered 4 questions.
Yeah,
I
we
blame Shaun. I blame Shaun.
I do it all the time.
Katt Williams tour.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that the biggest thing that you've done to date in your career?
That is absolutely the biggest thing that I've done to date in my career.
What are 3 things, lessons learned that you took? They can be all over the place, but 3 lessons learned from the Katt Williams tour.
The first lesson that I learned is that legends don't compete. Legends don't compete. On that tour, I was the youngest person by far, both career-wise and in age. Everybody that's on that tour has pretty much achieved everything on their list, or they have the ability to. So there is no threat. There's no competition. What I watch is legends stand on the side of the stage all night, show after show, watching each other, high-fiving each other, big up in each other as they came on and they came off. Even in the back, in the green room, I watched a bunch of legends who I grew up watching, race up and down the hallway, knocking on doors and playing. Like, I watched them be kids. I watched them be human. I watched them. So I learned that when you've achieved a certain status, there is no competition. We're all going out there to put on a good show, is what it should be anyway. One of the other things that I learned is that Katt Williams showed me how to treat my team when it's my turn. When it's my turn, he has shown me how to treat, because he sets the tone, right? And everybody else falls in line. From the day that I started on that tour, I was greeted, I was brought in, and I'm talking about from security to the caterers, to the people, the sound and audio visual, to the people that's putting the stage up, to the drivers, the bus drivers, because of course he got, the tour bus. And I watched him set a tone, and I watched everybody else follow that tone. And that tone was being generous to people. That tone was being cordial. That tone was, creating this family-like environment to where you would be comfortable so that you can go out and perform as your best self. And I watched people, if you did not fall into that line, you didn't really see them people. You know what I'm saying? Because that tour, those people made me comfortable, and it showed me when it's my turn that I want to make sure that I set an amazing standard. And then I want those people to be just as amazing. I watched him, Katt, Big Williams, all of the security running towards his dressing room, and Tommy Davidson's daughter was on the side, and I watched him stop everything and get down low and just play with her for a minute. She had something, and he just stopped and shook her hand, and like that kind of stuff, like that humility, treating people like they're human, not like he's the big dog and everybody else is. So, and I watched that also from the other comics, because I roll with Monique. Everybody know that. And that's something that I learned from her as well, is that you treat everybody, whether they are security or the owner of the establishment, you treat everybody with amazing respect and amazing love, and you'll go far. Who you are off stage is way more important than who you are on stage. And the third thing that I learned on this Katt Williams tour would probably be, because these are the biggest stages that I've ever performed on in my entire life. We're talking about anywhere from 10,000 people to 15, 20,000 people. Is that the nerves never go away. They never go away. The very first show in the beginning, and I thought I was going to throw up on the side of the stage twice. When we got to DC, the last show, I still thought that I was going to throw up, because those people don't know me. They've never met me. And again, now I'm back at Francis. You got to get these people to be quiet, pay attention to me, because they're still coming. I'm early in the show, so you still got people that's settling, or, again, they don't know me. So now I got to get their attention. I got to get them to know me, and I have to make them laugh their ass off in 8 minutes. That was my challenge every night. So there's no script for that. You can't write that.
Right.
You got to go out there, look who it is, and you got to hit the ground running immediately. So the nerves never go away. And I think that when you get to a place where you don't have the butterflies before you go on stage, don't get on it, because there's a sense of arrogance. There's a sense of arrogance, almost like you don't really appreciate the audience that's in front of you. Because again, you don't know them. You don't know what they came from. You don't know if they spent their last to get these tickets. You don't know what they need from you. And your job you can't be so arrogant and so caught up in how great you are that you think that, this is finna be a breeze. You don't know what those people need. And that stage will humble you. So I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for such an amazing opportunity, because I've been on other tours and I know what it's like. I've seen what that's like, but to be able to share a stage with all legends, people that you grow up watching like that.
It's crazy.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
You know how cool it is to skip race hanging with Mr. Cooper? Or to walk past Tommy Davidson and he just look at you and yell, Trudy! Like, he does that. Like,
Right.
This is, Red Grant. Like, these people are, you get to see the human side of them. And that's the dopest thing ever. It really, really is. And I'm grateful for that opportunity.
So, Cory, you said you've been on other tours. What's your advice for young women comics that are going on their first tour? What to expect versus what's the reality? What would you tell them?
That's a good question. Set the standard. I would say, set your standard. You don't have to accept everything that's handed to you. Again, I'll say it just like I did in the beginning. The women, we the low man on the totem pole, especially Black women. And sometimes they think that we should just, be happy for the opportunity. But if you worked your ass off to be there, it's okay to stand on that. Be confident. You don't have to be arrogant, but be confident in what you do, and never stop writing. Never stop writing. Because that pen, you might fuck around and write somebody else's joke. We don't want that. No, I'm joking. I can do that to Shaun if I want to. Right,
That's
squirrel?
fair.
Absolutely.
But I think that you just make sure that you set the standard and be okay with setting boundaries. It's okay to say no. And I'm just talking about to what the pay is, what's being offered, what the package looks like. If it's not conducive to you, be okay with saying no. Because if you take everything that somebody is handing you, the person that's coming behind you, and now you're big, they're gonna be like, well, she did it. I got so-and-so to do it for less. Well, go get them. You gotta be okay with walking away from stuff.
Have you walked away from a tour before?
Absolutely. A tour?
Yeah.
Not a tour. Okay. I haven't been on very many tours.
Okay.
Monique took me out first.
Okay.
And showed me the ropes. She really showed me the ropes. And then after that, I did my own little tour and, stuff like that. But as far as like big tours, I haven't turned down a tour, but I've turned down shows with big names before.
Okay.
Because they thought that, I wasn't worthy of, what either what I was asking or what they were trying to get me to do was perform with them in front of their sold out theater for exposure. And ComEd ain't never took exposure.
I know that's right.
Never.
We've shouted out Monique. I do want to ask favorite lady comedians that you have.
Damn, you in my mind. I was just about to ask her your top 5 favorite female comedians to watch. So I'm not saying the best. I'm saying your top 5 favorites to watch.
The ladies that make you laugh.
That's so hard because you can go anywhere from a Samora and Adele Givens to a Roseanne and a Margaret Cho. If you pull up some comics, like everybody has their own thing. Some of my favorites, though, if I can be honest, local chicks. Local chicks. Everybody know Just Nisha is the crowd favorite.
Yeah.
Yes.
She is super duper funny. I love to watch her. I'm a big Adele Givens fan. I'm a fan of the queens of comedy.
Okay.
Because we watched them put that work in.
All 4, just the 3.
Nope, all 4, including Miss Laura.
Okay.
Including Miss Laura, because Miss Laura was the host. She was the glue. She had to hold it together. That was the first person I saw snatched that wig off unapologetically.
She
Now,
did.
yeah, you know.
Yeah, I really feel bad for how shit kind of went for her. She deserved a little bit better than that.
Well, from what, if you listen to Miss Laura's story, I remember her and Adele Givens talking about it very candidly on Clubhouse. She didn't want to do comedy. She walked away from it.
It was reasons, though. I mean,
well,
because,
yeah.
you know, she was co-hosting Comic View and different shit like that. But this business will run you out of it. I mean, I done wanted to quit about 17 times.
No, you quit.
Self.
You retired at least 6 times.
Twice.
But a lot of things that you put your heart into will run you out of it. You know what I'm saying? Because you feel at some point
do you know how many
you
times,
deserve X.
But do you know how many times that we've shown up to shows and given our best and the $75 that you was promised, a nigga will tell you that the door didn't do what you thought it was going to do?
Yeah.
I think the most heartbreaking thing is watching you all try and open a room, like from the back end, and it not like the comedians are there and the chairs are empty.
Been there.
It
Ain't
is
no more
rough to watch.
heartbroken than me. Yeah, the motherfucker got to pay out. I'm still gonna pay. That's really a heartbreaker.
Yeah, but to have the privilege of seeing the comedy business from behind, this shit is not funny. And it's not fun, you know, like to see what people do to invest and all that you all have to do and the audience not showing up, or it's too far, or it's a restaurant. We don't have comedy clubs. So you all literally are thugging it out here. You all are saving people's businesses, which really infuriates me how comedy is used to, we can't sell crab legs on Tuesday, so we gonna need you to come and help us sell these crab legs. Like it's literally diluted.
We're the most exploited out of all entertainment.
Our gifts are prostituted.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's no one who gets treated worse in the in the entertainment industry than a comedian, because even with a rapper, he might, be shitted on his record deal, but he can still tour and do whatever.
Or be a feature on somebody else's. I can't feature on Sean Said. Can you imagine me coming out in the middle of Sean Said, like, hey, ladies and gentlemen, and carry his joke? Cory Bell, like Sean doing like this. Like, it does not happen.
And niggas make more money than us at our game, and when we ask for a fairer share, it becomes a thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I went to
but
not like you different.
No, I'm not saying me, but
you.
If I'm flipping a crib, I'm gonna make more than the people working, putting it back together. So really, at the end of the day, they doing the work. But
okay, I'm gonna give you.
There's always an element of that. I'm
gonna give you an example.
Yeah.
There was a comedian. I mean, not a comedian, a promoter who used to sell out shows very consistently, right? So it was, let's say 300 people, right? I'm just saying that for a round number.
Yeah.
Now this nigga want to give me $300 with $40 and $50 tickets. Nigga, that's $1 a person, right? So when he asked me to do it, I turned it down. So then he asked me to do it again. He said, well, what would it take to get me there? I was like, nigga, at least this. And that's still going to limit your time, because you giving me bare minimum money. I'm giving you bare minimum time. So his response to me was, well, I'm the reason that the people are here. And I said, well, I'll be the reason that they come back next month or not. So we can play this game, and I'll go up there and eat shit on purpose and see how many of these niggas come back next month. So yeah, you getting them, but I'm keeping them. So that's called a partnership, nigga, not dictatorship or whatever shit you trying to make this shit be.
But unless there's 1,000 people that can keep getting 300 people in there, that person does hold some value too.
Yeah, I'm not saying he don't. I'm saying we are.
I know you don't. We are. That's always been my challenge, even with, and really a lot of times, because I just like to entrepreneur and do different things. It's always been my challenge because I don't think we see the partnership in it, right? Like,
because niggas is too busy trying to get over it. So to be honest, with the exception of people like you who are fair, or Mary Lindsay who is fair, comedians typically don't fucking like promoters.
Yeah.
We just don't.
Yeah. Because when we walk away and we say no, what I learned was when if I have to say no, truth of the matter is I'm probably going to take my ball and go build a court. Right. That's normally what happened. When they wouldn't let me on the stage, it's very early on, and they wouldn't allow me, or they would. And here's the funny thing. They'll pay you in drink tickets.
Yeah.
And then when you are a bigger name, but you're an alcoholic, they don't understand why.
Yeah.
Well, this is how you paid me.
Right.
And now I'm drinking. Y'all didn't have no money, but you gave me some wings and made
drinks.
sure that I stayed lit. And now I'm falling
now
over
you
on
fat
stage.
with the diabetes.
Right. Right. Now I got high blood pressure
Right.
and alcoholism.
Right.
But what happened was I was maybe 2 years in and they weren't letting me on those stages. And the reason, let me be very clear, especially to the comics that are out now, the reason they weren't letting me on those stages because back then stages had to be earned. They were not given. There was no false sense of entitlement that just because you walked in a room that you were entitled to that stage. I don't care if it was an open mic. You know how many times that I went to a Wednesday night at Jokes and Notes, signed the list, bought 2 drinks, wasn't even drinking, but I knew that would move you higher on the list.
Oh, wow.
And never met. I made Jokes and Notes stage 1 time during an open mic. I've only performed on that stage twice before they closed.
Damn.
And that was because the stages were earned and not given. So when that didn't work, guess what I did? I took my ball.
Yep.
I went to Lansing and I created the biggest Sunday night for 3 years straight. Completely sold out.
What spot was that, Cory?
That was
Tilly's.
So What Sundays at Tilly's.
Yeah, Tilly's.
Tilly's.
Oh,
Okay.
that was you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I did that because I needed, number one, I did it because I needed a stage.
Right.
And number two, I wanted to make sure that I was able to put something back in other comics' pockets because I know what it feels like to not want to get a stage and not have one. And to, and to need that little gas money.
You think so?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what you got to do. But hey, man, it's all a part of the process. Even the L's.
Yeah.
It's all
With that, we do have to wrap it up. So I'll go around the room, kicking it off with you, Knowledge. What is it that you have to say to the listeners, the viewers?
Festival, right? What's Funny Comedy Festival is back for year 2, September 14th through the 21st, Sunday to Sunday. Got some new exciting things that we're bringing to the festival this year. Of course, you can expect shows, panels, but we got a few surprises that we're going to bring to the table. I'm talking to that young lady over there right now, trying to get her to host one of the shows. We're actually going to be doing this What's Funny Today show during the festival. Not sure who the guest is going to be, but we're going to do that in front of a live audience at least one time, maybe twice. And so again, just making things bigger and better on the comedy side and trying to make sure that we contribute and continue to contribute to Chicago comedy. Shout out to my partner, Lil Rel, who's also making it happen as well and investing his time to make sure that we create something dope for the city.
The festival announced the Icon Award this year.
Yeah.
We did. Appreciate that. Cory mentioned it earlier, but we are going to recognize with the What's Funny Comedy Festival Icon Award, Bob Sumner. Bob is an OG in the game. And when you think about what we talk about in urban comedy, Russell obviously was the plug. But if Bob didn't make his way around to these different cities and hit these comedy clubs to find these comedians that are absolutely household names today, but we would assume it would have happened, right? But who knows, right? And so the fact that platform delivered so many of our comedic stars to us today, we just wanted to make sure that we recognize Bob Sumner. So he's excited. And so he will be here participating in the festival that week. We're going to definitely put some things together so audience can kind of hear his story and hear some of basically urban comedy story. Super excited about that. So
Nice.
Shout out to Bob.
All right. Sean?
I have nothing.
You have something, Sean.
Just continue to watch the podcast. I mean, it's funny. This is gonna sound like the Sean Cap and shit, but clearly, even the podcast has had a pretty big influence on other podcasts. So hopefully, we can continue to. If I said I'm a dick, so. I've literally had niggas walk up to me. You remember the shit you said about nigga? We was on the podcast talking about that shit somehow. But if I said I'm a dick, so
We got more in the bag though, so we ain't worried.
Yeah,
You gotta be okay with being a dick though, Sean, because it wouldn't be if you were any other person, we would be like, who the fuck is like when you came back. When you left and came back, we were a little worried, and then we was like, you know what? Yeah, this dude all right. Like, yeah, it's gonna be all right. So, Sean, I'm gonna be very honest, and I know it ain't my turn yet, but we do appreciate you. we appreciate your pen. We appreciate what you do, because when you come to those stages, people are sitting on the edge of their seat because they don't know what to expect from you. That's the honest to God truth. The way that you write and the angles that you take, you do pioneer and inspire quite a few comics to go on. You're the type of comic that other comics watch and they say, shit, I wish I would have thought of that. Or I'm going to go to another city and steal it.
One or the other.
One or the other. But I think that nobody, you know, even with all of the old man shit you do, which is then all of the fussing is to get out my yard. You don't get the credit you deserve for the creativity and the original shit that you do come up with. And I want to make sure that I do say that, because I appreciate you. I've already told you. You already know you're one of my people. You're one of my favorites. So I'm going to always give you shit from now on, because if I don't, then who's holding you accountable? You fuck around and had a nerve to be saying something, be like, Shaun, come on, bro. Like we get it. But a lot of that shit you've earned. You've earned that. So, you know, take that shit and do with it what you wish. But yeah, keep complaining, because we're going to keep staying on your ass about it.
That's funny.
Shaun complains on stage. Love me now. Support me now, because I'm not going to give a fuck about y'all in a minute.
He is very emo.
That's how he closed.
He is hella emo.
So yeah, that was that. So
that's hilarious.
Now I'll wait for her to say my name.
Corey, what you got going on?
So the
best friend.
So the Katt Williams tour is over, and I have jumped out of the water to kick off my own very first kind of mini tour, which is called the Best Friend Tour, because I'm going around to a couple of cities and I'm taking some of my funny best friends with me to different cities and giving people that opportunity.
My phone has not rung.
Yeah.
I love this nigga so much. I'm doing the tour.
Yeah, we'll go fussing on that tour.
I love it.
I'm just talking shit.
I don't want no fussing.
I'm just talking shit. I'm happy for you. You deserve every bit of it. And I tell people that, and I'm giving you your flowers, but I do it anyway. When certain people name pop up, I'm automatically gonna jump in and be like, these people. All the complaining and shit that I do is because I know that a lot of these people are taking the lazy route, and they have the talent to do it. They just being lazy and doing other shit. So I always give you your props. I always give Niche their props. And everything that I said here, I say in front of anybody in any city. Chicago breeds the best comedians in the world.
Period.
And we will continue to, and it's because of the disrespect. You didn't call it what it was. It's the direct disrespect to the comedians that we face. TV's on while a nigga is trying to do a show is disrespectful.
It is.
You wouldn't do it to a nigga you respected.
We don't
If
even have
Kevin Hart
stages.
came in, they would cut the fucking TV off. If a nigga came in that they actually respected, they wouldn't do the same shit to. So that's what we fight through, being disrespected.
Yeah.
Niggas don't even understand. We write and help other niggas. We're better than them. But because they're more popular, you respect them, so you listen. But us, you be like, man, fuck that nigga, cut the game up.
Right. Niggas will turn their back on you, right?
Yeah.
You're like, I know it ain't no stage,
Like,
nigga,
nigga,
area, but...
funnier than these motherfuckers. You just spent $7,000 a ticket on, nigga.
Right.
Just give me a shot, bitch.
So yeah, the Best Friend Comedy Tour is kicking off. We did New York, sold out New York. I did Naples, Florida on Tuesday.
Dope.
Flew back here yesterday to watch the premiere of Standby, which is a movie that's produced by Barry Brewer and his
shout out
wife,
to Barry.
that he put a bunch of comedians on from Chicago and otherwise. So that should be coming out really soon. And then this weekend, I'm in Detroit. Next week, Nashville. And I am officially a part of the What's Funny Comedy Festival. I'll now be operating in quite a few, not just hosting one shows. I'm just going to be showing up to shit like, you didn't ask me to be on the panel. I'm now on the panel. Oh, you didn't ask me. Yes, I'm selling t-shirts.
I love it.
So you guys hear it here first. Whatever is going on with What's Funny Comedy Festival, I will be actively involved in, because up until this time, we didn't have people they cared, but they didn't have the capacity to give Chicago the shining light that they did. So to Knowledge and to Lil Rel, and I know that every year will be bigger. We are grateful for you on behalf of the comics and
Appreciate
Shaun.
y'all.
We are grateful He gonna complain. So I'm excited to be that. And God willing, when the fall tour kicks off with Katt Williams in September, after the festival, I'll also be involved in that. So keep your fingers crossed with me.
As always, you can check me out on the Corner Convo podcast. Tap in with me at Kels the Yogi. And you know what? Yes, we're ranked 34 on Spotify. You know, this is a family effort. I love being here. I share this space with my homegirl Mindy B. Make sure you tag her, Marilee. It's a lot that goes into this production, so I'm always very grateful. I do hope to get a seat at Rail's show this year, because last year I couldn't even get in. I couldn't get in. Knowledge was like, ain't no more seats.
Wait a minute.
I was on the show and couldn't get in.
I had a ticket, and it was like, yeah, your ticket ain't no good. I was like, well, wait a minute.
This doesn't play well for the What's Funny Comedy Festival. So all this.
Yes, it does. What it says is that the city showed up and came out.
That's right.
So I'm letting you know now, whatever camera I'm watching, listen, when the shows post the links, Get your tickets because it is a sight to see. This goes down in Chicago history. So I'm letting you know, you want to be in the building. Don't wait like we did and be like, oh, I'm a comic. I'm going to be able to get in.
There are no tickets at the door.
No, there is no guest list. Okay, guess what? Get your tickets.
Hey, shout out to Serena that was doing damage control. Like, I don't know. I ain't got no passes for you.
Guest list. Guess what? No tickets. Get your tickets. It's going to be an amazing festival. And again, I'm excited about it.
Appreciate you, Cory.
It was a good time in the parking lot. I tell you that.
I just went home like red. My grandmama gave me that chain.
Oh my goodness. With that, like, share, subscribe, tap in, and we will see you next time. And again, welcome to season 2.